Welcome to night 2 of SummerSlam Live here on the DJ and the Heel Show. I am Brendan the Heel, along with DJ. We're with BT, Main Event Hub. We got Chris C. We got Kefis. We expect some more people to be popping in. How's everyone doing? How are we feeling about night 2 of SummerSlam?
Way better than I feel last night. Last night was a colonoscopy. Today was the shit after the colonoscopy. Which I know that sounds kind of like a bad simile right now, but I actually actively enjoyed night 2. I think this was night 2, if we're just judging it as a PLE itself, best PLE of the year. It's like for WWE so far, when they do 2-night events, they save everything for night 2, which is good on the premise of it. Sends everyone home happy, but it just makes the first night so lackluster. But again, everything to me delivered except for the Danhausen match, at least in my opinion.
Well, we haven't had Kefis in here since our debate about our show about mid-carders and main eventers. So, Kefis, welcome back. What was your opinion of? Well, you weren't here with us yesterday, so why don't you give us what you thought about yesterday, and then tell us what you thought about today.
Yeah. So thanks for having me, guys. I'll start with today because I think that gives a better illustration of what I thought about yesterday. So it's kind of to what DJ's point. I have stopped seeing the night 1 of the 2-day PLV events. I've stopped observing those as part of the PLE. To me, they're at this point, they're just kind of like the pre-show. A lot of people rated night 1 without giving night 2 a chance first. I think a lot of the night 1 ratings are going to go down now once people have experienced and sat through night 2, because the ratings that night 1 was getting, roughly from what I saw online, they range between a 6 and a 7 out of 10. I think we can safely downgrade those ratings to probably like a 4 or a 5 after night 2. Night 2 was SummerSlam. I think really, I do agree with DJ on this as well. Every match hit except for maybe the Dom and Danhausen match. I get why they did it in the middle of the card to kind of break up the show and everything, but I don't know. I think they should have put like the Vision or somebody else in that spot. I think Danhausen's just he's been getting a little too much exposure, I think, lately. But night 2 was great. I think it was a solid night. The right outcomes throughout the entire night. And I don't really have a lot of complaints about night 2.
No, and so kind of to piggyback something off Kefis said, I wouldn't have put the Vision in there just because the Vision are still kind of death, and they have no tag teams really to face right now. So just giving them a cold ass tag team match on this flame ass night 2 would have been just as big as a detriment. If I was WWE, Danhausen and Dom would have opened the show. Like, I understand why we opened the show with the 4-way and KO returning and that big pop, and that was a great moment. But I think that would have been better served in the middle of the show and have Danhausen and Dom kind of open with the funny fucking comedy gimmick, just because, that's what that's supposed to be for. So I would have just switched it around, or just take the fucking match out, because it was a stupid match to begin with. Danhausen, I agree with Kefis. Me and Kefis are just in sync today, apparently, because Danhausen is starting to be overexposed. I understand they're trying to milk this golden goose for as much as it can get, but fuck, can you let it breathe for a bit?
I think now that we're out of this SummerSlam and this story with Danhausen is kind of ending, I think they are going to pull him back a little bit. I still think you're going to see him on every show, but I don't think it's going to be as obnoxious as it's been in the last few weeks. So I think you'll get those 30-second little skits in the back. but I don't think you're going to get 4 different segments on per show and concerts and matches every other week the way we've been getting with Danhausen. Chris, what did you think of night 2?
I liked it. Again, it was like everybody here. I did not like, Danhausen is just overexposed. It ruins Dom. It needs to go away, but it won't because he's the cash cow and WWE loves their merchandise. I wasn't a fan as much of Rollins and Reigns. It's just, again, we don't have a heel. There's that sign of respect. Hey, we needed more signs of respect in, this card alone, but almost I think all of WWE did last year. Again, we have no heels. I mean, literally, there is no main event heel for Roman to feud with. There's no heel for Chad Gable to feud with. What are we doing here? We need to start building heels. It just doesn't seem like WWE wants to do this. Like, everybody's a tweener. Everybody's gonna be like, it's all about respect.
Main Event Hub, what's your opinions on night 2?
I came out of night 2 better than I did of night 1. The Danhausen thing, I don't think it's over because Monday Night Raw needs tag teams, and look who they just paired together. Don't be surprised if we get Joe Hendry and Danhausen going for the tag titles. I said it when we were talking backstage. It's kind of hard to do a tribute to the Shield when you don't have the third member. And one of my biggest issues with this build is that we're still trying to tell the Shield story when we've already told it like 8 times in the last 12 years. How many times are we going to do the same stupid little tease of the chair shot, which Roman's already got us come up and whip not once but twice already? Main event dragged on, like you said earlier, but it was still a good match. Gable, Penta, good match. The women's ladder match, and we'll probably get to it. I think a lot of people are misconstruing what an interim title actually means. Chelsea Green is not officially a world champion in WWE. The interim titles do not count as an actual reign. The only way the interim title counts is if they win the unification match. I'm assuming they're going the same way like AEW did and what the UFC does. Interim title reigns do not count as a world title reign. And then for Danhausen, fun little match, but I could have done without it.
As we were going through everyone's thoughts, JJ popped in. What's up, JJ?
Hey, sorry, I had to. I was streaming and hadn't had a chance to take a piss yet. So
I was gonna say all that duppy energy you were fucking drinking during the show. I figured you had to go pee.
Yeah, that and I thank God I have cough drops here.
JJ, what was your overall thoughts of night 2?
Better than night 1. I was not a fan of the women's ladder match. I was not a fan of the Danhausen match. Just because there was a little bit too much fuckery. However, I really liked Roman and Seth. The 4-way, the jury's still out for me on. But and Gable and Penta was fucking great. I decided to riff it because I hadn't done it in a while, and I just legit did play-by-play for the whole match, and it brought me back to my glory days on commentary, and then I had no voice at the end of it, so I was thankful that there was some throat drops here on the desk. But yeah,
you're out of shape. You're not in ring shape.
I was quite loud, and like when I used to do commentary, I always used to have like some hot tea and like a box of Sucrets or lidocaine lozenges for my throat.
All right, so I guess we'll just go through each match.
No, real quick, I wanted to add something on real quick because it was something me and you started talking about before we went on air. Like, and a couple people brought it up to me on Twitter because I simply stated night 2 was fucking delivering. That was the tweet, and people got triggered off of it. But I think people lose their mind in the thought of that if a match doesn't go a certain amount of time, there's no way it can be a good match.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not always about how long a match goes. It's about what they get done with the amount of time they have. And we'll talk about it later, but a good example of that is the Penta Gable match. It only went 10 minutes, but it definitely didn't felt like it. It felt like to me it went like a solid 12, 15 minutes until Brandon told me the actual amount of time. And then I'm like, okay, no, they definitely did more than enough. Especially they accomplished what they needed to accomplish. They got both their shit in. They got both their shit over. They told the story of Gable being hurt and compromised partially the match with his shoulder, and he had to overcome that. And eventually did overcome that to win his first singles title in fucking WWE, which is a big deal. But yeah, let's do the first match.
So the first match originally was supposed to be, Finn Balor against Sammy for, number one contendership. Aldis comes out back as GM. He throws Gunther into the match. There was a little bit of a groan when we were doing the live stream about that.
Yeah.
But then it led to the return of Kevin Owens, which was universally praised. Kevin Owens ends up winning the match, pinning Sammy. So we can go into the whole, we could continue with Crash Out Sammy. And I'm looking forward to, someone new for CM Punk and Kevin Owens.
Owens looked great in that match. Like he looked
He looked a
phenomenal.
little stiff. His neck was he looked a little stiff, but he did look good. I mean,
I
I think he
disagree.
just
I get what you mean, but I'm saying for a guy who's been out for a year and a half due to neck surgery,
yeah.
he didn't look like he was gone. It looked
No,
like
no. I think once he takes a couple of bumps, he'll be all back to normal. But he did look a little stiff though.
not even that though. Like the first bump he took immediately was a senton, like, and then 2 cannonballs. So it's like you know what I mean? He's not hiding from it. He's working the same way he worked beforehand, to where most people in his situation would, try to work a different style, but he feels comfortable enough with his body to be like, I'm good as new. And he
did look. I'm not saying he didn't look good, but he did remind me a lot of Osprey when he came back this last time. He was pretty stiff on his first couple matches, but that's not to say he didn't do well. So, no, I'm happy KO's back.
like I said, I just thought they did a really good job of making him look good. I knew as soon as they announced him, I think everyone in the room, me, Chris, Brandon, and JJ, knew it was a foregone conclusion.
Yeah.
That he was winning that match. And it's a good direction with him and Punk, because I think those two can actually, if there's any two people on that roster who can be allowed to let their real life animosity go into, the screen, it'd be those two. I think this will be a good pairing like Punk and Drew was. So,
yeah, and on top of that too, to your point, also I think everyone's kind of tired of, the Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, Gunther vortex, and even Finn Balor. He's been part of it a little bit, at least over the last couple of months. But I think this was something fresh and new. So good call.
yeah. But KO looked good. Sammy did a great job selling the fact that KO returned. This Sammy character is just fucking great. I'm with it.
Yeah,
Finn Balor was there to take the pin.
Finn didn't take the pin, though.
No, I'm saying that's what all of our initial thoughts was. And I forgot who the fuck the fourth guy was now. I've watched so much wrestling in 2 days. I'm fucking my brain's melted.
It was Gunther.
Gunther, there we go. Yeah, and Gunther was just also there, to be there. Listen, I was just shocked at the fact that Gunther was pulling double duty. That's rare. That's rare in these days. So I commended him for that. Double duty Gunther.
Hub, what did you think of the 4-way?
For someone coming off of neck surgery, Owens looked great. I guess kick off how we started. I think we solved 2 questions from last night. The Gunther Aldis stuff is over, and Aldis is a GM now. He's not going back. I think those two questions have been answered. For Owens Punk that's happening, I'm hyped for it. My fear is they're going to try and turn Owens. Crowd's not going to accept it. I do not think the crowd is going to boo Kevin Owens going forward. So, unless Punk wants to work heel, I don't know how they're going to do this because normally they don't do babyface versus babyface, especially back to back for a championship program.
That's literally all they've been doing. SummerSlam was all babyface.
I was going to say that's literally what they did for SummerSlam.
Like both titles, they've been doing that for months.
Roman's not a babyface.
Roman's a babyface. He proved that tonight.
Roman's not a babyface.
He literally dropped a chair tonight and decided not to do anything dirty. And then he shook hands with the guy afterwards. He's not a fucking heel.
He's
WWE don't know what they're doing with Roman.
He's a tweener.
As of tonight, he was a babyface.
The other three are heels, but he's a tweener.
JJ doesn't believe that they're heels either.
Because they're not.
No, to that
you
part,
don't, wait, hold on. You don't believe the Usos and Fatu are heels?
The rest of the bloodline are fucking heels. It's literally the Death Rider dynamic, and I've been saying this for weeks now. It's the Moxley's the tweener, where sometimes he'll be a babyface, sometimes he'll be a heel, but the rest of the group are definitely fucking heels.
No, I disagree. The bloodline are not heels. They're heelish, but they're not heels. Not a single one of them has changed their gimmick.
Right.
Not one of them. Not even Jey Uso. Not even this Crash Out Jay. He was always the same. He was just on the other end of the
He literally has a whole new catchphrase. It's not even yeet.
Yeah,
When's the
they
last
stopped
time
doing
you heard the
yeet.
motherfucker say yeet? He's been saying bow bow bang. This
yeah,
is
but he's
shot.
been yeeting still.
Bang,
He's
bow.
been yeeting still.
He's still yeeting.
You would think Jey Uso is Chief Keef, okay? As much as he says fucking bang and bow.
Yeah, but he's still yeeting.
No,
it hasn't fundamentally. He hasn't changed.
If the rest of the bloodline were heels, if they were heels, they would have done a run-in tonight to beat up Seth. They didn't.
Yeah,
they listened to Roman.
And
Roman's the tweener. The other three are heels.
Okay, sure.
No, they're not. They're still so over. They're not heels.
Exactly. All right, hold on. We're 2-2 right now. Brandon, Chris, you two are the tiebreakers. Are the bloodline? What is this dynamic? Brandon, we'll let you go first.
I have said that for the Death Riders in AEW, there is the bloodline in WWE, and in that is they don't, depending on which way the wind is blowing, is whether they're baby faces or heels. To your point, I think it was you, DJ. Basically, Roman is Moxley in that dynamic. He'll change his attitude towards whatever fits the story. But I think the bloodline definitely were playing the heels last night during that match. And they have been playing the heels. Those three guys, at least, have been playing the heels during this whole build towards the match from last night.
So I was going to say there's been 2 beatdown segments of Jay, Jimmy, and Jacob beating down Royce Keys, LA Knight, and/or their brother cousin.
Yeah, but there's been segments with LA Knight beating
exactly.
After getting jumped. Not starting it, after already getting jumped.
Yeah, but that's where they're the heelish behavior. They're not heels though. If Jimmy and Jay come out, they're getting a standing ovation. Yep. If Jacob comes out, standing ovation. These guys are. They're not
just heels. Because the bully gets cheered before he gives the kid the wedgie.
No. Well, let me finish. Do you see? Has the bloodline turned on the audience?
Right.
You don't have to turn on the audience to be a
okay.
heel.
So you define a heel by somebody beating up who is supposed to be a good guy. That's how you guys define a heel.
I define a heel by their actions. Yes.
Sammy's considered a heel, but Sammy has not turned on the crowd.
90% of the bloodline's actions have not been heelish. Did they interfere? Have they interfered in any of Roman's matches since he became world champion? No, they haven't. They're not heels.
Right.
They're not heels. Just because they're acting heelish, that doesn't make they're attitude era faces. That's it.
Time out. The first go around, they weren't turning on the crowd, and they were heels.
When
They
a
weren't
couple years ago?
when the first go around, they were heels, but they never turned on the crowd.
Well, when was the first go around? Are you talking about a couple years ago, the first Bloodline run?
Yes.
No,
After
they did turn.
after
They
the
did
crowd.
turn on. They did turn on the crowd because what they stood right next to Roman and The Rock later on as they were absolutely frying the audience.
Yep.
Well, hold on. The Rock was frying the audience.
It was
Roman
The
was
Rock.
too before The Rock. Roman was
Yep.
too before The Rock came in. Roman was too, and they were standing right next to him. So yeah, they were frying the audience by proxy.
So
And not
a
only were they
2-month
frying
time span in a 3-year run is not. They magically became heels then. They were heels
No.
the whole time.
They were heels the whole time in the original run because literally they were always doing run-ins. They were always beating up guys to save Roman. They were always fucking coming out and beating down people. This entire story that's happened with Keys in LA started with them saying to Royce, "Stay out of our business. This is family business." And Royce started saying, "No, fuck you." And so then they went, "Fine. Now you're in here. Now we're going to kick the shit out of you." It's retaliatory.
Yeah. There is no formal heel turn. This is just a feud.
Actually, that's not true because Jacob did turn on Royce Keys.
After
Royce
he said,
Keys
but he
didn't
didn't want
my
to.
family
He didn't
business.
want to though. He didn't
Right.
want to. So
But he still did.
Right, but that's not a heel turn though. It's a response. I mean,
Right.
Jacob is still so over. We can't conflate responses
It
to heel
doesn't matter
turns.
if they're over.
He gave him a fair warning.
MJF's over and
He
he's fucking heel.
Yeah, but see, you guys are hyper focusing on one thing that I'm saying. When I'm saying somebody's over, and then I'm explaining all the ways in which they're not heels, don't hyper focus on me saying they're over. Jacob
Right.
is over, yes, but Jacob has not turned on anybody. He gave
Right.
Royce Keys so many opportunities to get away from him.
Exactly.
He warned him numerous times. It's not a heel turn.
Right.
Jacob's definitely a heel. He's definitely he's interfered in Jimmy and Jay matches. Jacob has definitely been portrayed as a heel. Jay and Jimmy have been, more, as you admitted, more heelish in their actions, which defines to me them being a heel. But then, I get what you're trying to. I get where you're coming at because they're not doing all the heel actions that would fully present them as heels. But they're doing enough to where it gives me the mindset of, okay, they're fucking heels. They're the bad guys. They're the guys I want to see lose.
If you want to
Let's put
argue
it
they're
this
not
way.
full-blown heels, fine. But in no shape or form are they baby faces.
Exactly.
Catfish.
All right. Exactly.
Cat-
Let's agree with that.
Listen, with that reasoning, LA Knight's a heel too. Then LA Knight
Although they're heel.
up until
You would have
listen. Hold on. Let's follow your progression here. The way you're describing what a heel actually is, up until last night, LA Knight hasn't been friendly with anybody. So that by your standards, that would make him a heel. He's not a heel.
No, that just makes him a lonely baby face.
He's just a loser.
Catfish, let me ask you, in the dynamic of that 6-man match that we had last night, who were the protagonists in it and who in the story and who were the antagonists?
The bloodline were heelish.
So they were the antagonists, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So to me,
And on top of
I
that,
said,
the whole thing really escalated by quote-unquote orders from the tribal chief.
Right, but
That's how-
matches, even if it's two faces against each other, they're always going to have somebody that's more. So let me ask you guys this: in the Roman Seth match tonight, who would you consider the antagonist?
Seth.
Exactly.
So, but we're not
Seth
sitting here saying
definitely
Roman's a
was heel.
full-blown heel. We're saying Roman's a tweener.
But everyone's a tweener right now. Like everyone, Randy, Drew, KO, all of them had.
Hold on, time out.
Randy's heel.
No,
Randy's
Randy's
heel.
definitely a
Randy's
full-blown
heel.
heel. It's just the heel turn it ain't working. It isn't effective whatsoever. But
He's a heel that
he's portrayed as a heel.
He's a heel that RKO'd Cody and then winked at the camera.
No,
He's a
he winked
kinky
at the
heel.
camera
What
because
do
he's
you
like,
want to
"Yeah,
do?
gotcha, bitch."
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think there are a lot of true heels currently. I don't. These are all. So right now we're experiencing Attitude Era type faces or heels or whichever one you want to categorize them as. But essentially, it's all on a
We had
spectrum.
faces and heels in the Attitude Era. Stop
Yep.
that now.
Yep.
We're rewriting history now. Come on. Just because we remember Stone Cold and The Rock being the first tweeners ever, and
Who?
being the
What
one
heels
of the
did we
few
have
one
during
of
the
the few
Attitude Era?
people in history who
Everyone
can
in the
toe the
corporate
line.
ministry.
The Attitude Era had tweeners
Vince.
everywhere. No, there were clearly
Vince,
defined baby
yeah,
faces and heels
Vince
now.
was probably the greatest heel of all time. So yes, I agree there.
Quite
But
literally,
Mankind was
every
heel at one
person.
point.
Quite literally, every
DX
person in the corporation and everyone in the corporate ministry were heels.
but they're
Triple
all
H's
over as
DX.
heels.
But the Attitude Era also was in that era of the cool heel. That even though they were heels and doing the antagonistic evil
But
stuff,
that's what
they
I'm
were
saying though, Brandon. That's what these guys are today as well. It's very similar.
Yeah.
No,
You don't
that's just
really
wrestling
have
in general. Like,
no. You don't have traditionally. You don't have those people that are hated. Those people that get spit on. Those people that get crap thrown at them. Right now,
Right. Right.
you don't have those types of heels.
Right.
I would say
but-
the closest person to that type of heel was probably Dominic Mysterio like 2 years ago.
I don't know, but
They
CM
don't.
Punk in an AEW event, you'll see people spitting on someone.
Oh no, AEW is a different beast. They will spit, and I mean, you got Brandon in here talking crap to FTR. I mean, it happens, right? And AEW, I think, is a little bit better.
He's a plant.
Who Brandon is.
yeah, I was the plant. That's
Yeah.
right.
I think AEW does a better job with making people hateable, and that's because their characters aren't muzzled in the same way that WWE characters are with promo work.
I don't. Honestly,
I also think they could.
Going a little off topic. I don't think anyone's really hated in AEW. I think maybe Don Callis, and that's it. Everyone else, it's more of you boo him, fine. If you cheer for him, cool. Doesn't really matter.
But in AEW, not to go too far off, you also get cheered for your work rate. So what does it matter if you're if you could be the worst heel in the
Yeah, I
world?
don't hear
go
that.
out there
My
and have
world gets cheered.
It's
Yeah,
just kind of I guess what I'm trying to say is it's kind of a fickle fan base right now. I don't think you can actually, as an organization, I don't think you can create like a truly hated heel right now, at least. Maybe soon.
especially in WWE because they're afraid to let it go to the point of getting that real heel heat.
Yeah, and I'll give you one more example. If everyone wants Cody Rhodes to turn heel, if Cody Rhodes were to turn heel tomorrow, I guarantee you somehow he'd get more cheering. More people would cheer for him.
And I've been saying that for a while. I agree with that too. That's how you get someone to get cheered more in WWE. You have them, have some sort of attitude change, and the fans will just go along with it because you're giving them what they've been dreaming of, and fantasy booking. So everyone's been fantasy booking Cody for so long, turning heel. Once he turns heel, then they're going to be woeing again. But let's get back on track to SummerSlam. But I thought that was a great conversation that we got off on. But right winner. I look forward to the stuff with Punk coming up. I hope they don't pull like what they did with Charlotte and Jade. Wait, was it Charlotte and Jade and Rhea? I'm sorry, where they shied away from the real life issues, and I hope they lean into them because I think that's how you're going to really put some meat on the bone of that feud. But any last thoughts on the 4-way?
Yeah, what do you do with Gunther now?
Oh,
He's going to get thrown in the fucking Money in the Bank match. In between
now
now and then, he's
Money
going
in the
to
Bank's not
flounder.
until October.
Right.
It's
Between now and then, he's going to fucking flounder.
Because I figured they would. I didn't think they would add Gunther to this match. I figured Owens in some scenario would have appeared tonight, but they pretty much squashed the Nick Aldis and Gunther stuff tonight. And now it's what do you even do with Gunther? He's not in the WWE Championship program. You're not shoving him back with Sammy. I guess you could do Balor, but like that's just random. I don't know. I seriously, the booking of Gunther since ending Styles' career has been very questionable, and it's kind of hard where to go with them.
They didn't even do anything in that 4-way match to be able to shift over to Gunther and Balor. Like
Right.
if he had the match won and Balor cost him the 3 count, then you kind of could have shifted that he had a problem with Balor for costing him the match. But they didn't even do anything that I remember seeing in the match to like justify that.
Right.
So to your
Only
point,
thing I can see for Gunther's future right now is a U.S. title run, because that's the only thing he
Which is
hasn't
going
done.
backwards.
Oh my god! Oh
There's
god!
nothing else. There's nothing else for him in the world title picture, unless we're doing him and Punk in the future again, which I don't want to see. It was one of the better Punk matches, but it's not a feud I want to see right now.
Actually, before we go on, Punk Owens, Worlds Collide. Is that what we're thinking?
No.
No, they'll save the. Again, I think they're going to drag that out till Money in the Bank or Saturday.
They're not
Night's
going to
Main
take a
Event.
match of that caliber and put it on an NXT show.
In Chicago, head to head, you know how petty they are. Just saying.
They'll have a segment.
Because they're going to need something for Saturday Main Event. They have a,
Right.
because they still have a Saturday Night Main Event before Money in the Bank. And then they got this Worlds Collide thing, which they got to probably beef it up a bit because it's going to be in the All-State Arena.
it does say WWE NXT AAA, so it is sort of a everything encompassed. So
I think a rematch will probably occur at Money in the Bank. I don't think the first match is going to occur at Money in the Bank. That's too far of a gap.
before we move on, I do want to shout out Kevin Owens. He shouted out Rebel on the post show, who's battling ALS. So I think that's very classy of him. So I just want to give him props for that. That's one thing that he's always done. That even when people aren't who worked for WWE, he still goes out of his way to shout them out. So I just want to say that's classy of him. But next, we moved on to Baron Corbin beating Trick Williams for the United States Championship. I know JJ did not like the ending.
I liked the ending. What are you talking about?
The manager bump?
No, fuck the manager bump. I thought you meant the finish. I like the fucking finish. Fuck Boat Boy. Fuck that motherfucker and get him off my goddamn screen.
Yeah, you hate Little Yachty?
When you do a manager bump every fucking match and every fucking promo segment that you're out there from fucking April till now, it makes manager bumps look like nothing. It's fucking terrible. Get this motherfucker away.
Look, to be fair, he's one of only one manager currently in WWE.
And that's the fucking problem. They won't use real managers. Well, they'll use this fuck knuckle.
Well, the art
he's
of managing,
like Minnesota.
the art of managing in WWE, aside from really Heyman, it's a dead concept and has been for years.
Exactly. So they don't need this fucking stupid ass fucking rapper doing manager bumps. They got a mouthpiece for a guy that's supposed to be able to talk. That makes no fucking sense. Get rid of him. The fact he took
DJ,
3 fucking bumps in this match, fuck that shit.
I thought it was just the one through the table.
No, he took the fucking bump from Corbin, and then he grabbed the fucking cane, and then he took a second bump, and then he took the table bump.
DJ, what did you think of the match?
He took a bump into the barricade. You were looking confused. Like, what bump did he take? He took a bump into the barricade, then he grabbed the cane, and then he somehow lost the cane, and then took another bump into the table.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as this match, I mean, I wasn't against this match. I mean, this was the coldest match going into the show, but both guys definitely tried, and that's all I can say about the match itself. The finish, I was actually very intrigued with. I'm like, cool, Corbin wins. It's something new for the mid-card division. You finally got someone the baby faces can chase.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, I think this is just a segue to get the belt onto Solo again.
No.
I think they're going to ride that wave soon. Maybe it's just me, being too hopeful for Solo, but that's what I could see potentially in the future, Solo and him. But it's going to be a lot more on-the-job training for him for that mid-card division because
Isn't that
none
a
of them
step?
are ready to be main eventers.
Isn't that a step back for Solo at this point to go down to like someone like Corbin?
No. Because Solo
Corbin
was
has the
Corbin
look.
before
Corbin has
Corbin
the
came
look
back.
and the.
I'm gonna quote Ole Anderson. Fucking Solo went out the list without even having to do anything. There's so many other dumb fucks that showed up that, again, he went up the list without having to do shit. Like when you got Royce Keys, Ricky Saints, both fucking floundering, Solo's looking like $1 million right now.
But that's my point. He's like involved with like a top storyline in the bloodline. To go down to Corbin just feels like it's going backwards.
You think he's gonna continue this bloodline shit? You think they're gonna do this inner fucking show story with the bloodline now?
Yep,
Absolutely.
That'll be war games.
Yep.
Money in the
Absolutely.
Bank. Solo Roman Money in the Bank.
They're not
I'm
just
telling you,
dropping it.
This Roman run is going to be legit friends and family. And then when it's time to do him and Oba, or it looks like him and Oba, then it'll be someone that's not friends and family, and they'll get the title off of them.
Yeah, because you got Oba. Oba's about to probably feud with Bronson Reed.
Oh, God.
Because of what Bronson Reed
Jesus
posted on X
fuck.
yesterday.
Ryback versus
Agreed.
Fat
I would
Andrade.
actually be.
Give
Hold
me a
on.
fucking break.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, because you guys saw what Bronson posted on X yesterday, right?
Yep.
No, I missed it.
Yeah, he posted. He said something to the effect of, "And you guys after Oba won, he said, and you guys thought Braun was being shoved down your throat or something to that effect." So it's like a jab at Oba, I think, and obviously it's a sanctioned jab at Oba. It's kayfabe, so I think he's going to return and they're going to feud.
I hope so.
You mean I actually
'Cause
have to agree with something Fat Andrade said? Jesus fuck.
So if Reed's not cleared, there is someone else that their debut returning tomorrow that could be feuding with Oba to make Oba look strong.
Cass ain't coming
gonna
back
throw
alone.
Cass?
Enzo's with him.
Then why have we seen anything for Enzo? It's just been Cass.
Because
I
that's
can
going
see
to
Enzo
be the
being-
surprise.
But no, even if they bring back just Cass, they're not going to bring back Cass just to sacrifice him to fucking Oba. That's
Right.
counterproductive.
They're bringing back Enzo
I mean, what are you
and
going
Cass
to do? What are you
feud
going
for
to do
the
with
tag
Cass?
belts.
You're not doing Cass unless he's come back with Enzo and they're going to tag division.
That's
Just
what's
assume
happening.
face value right now. He's coming back as a singles. What is he going to do? You might as well just use him to get over guys like Oba, guys like Breaker, guys like Reed. Be pretty much Braun Strowman still with legs.
Yeah.
Just fill the Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
hole.
Chelsea just dedicated her win to Michael Hayes.
Of course she did. Because fucking stupid. Because
God
people.
damn it,
because
Chelsea, you're
Unreal.
not helping
Because
with
Unreal
the
is a
JJ
fucking
fucking
kayfabe
narrative.
episode.
Chelsea, if you're listening to this, don't post shit for the next 24 hours. You're not
Yeah.
helping your case with JJ.
That's right. I
Fuck.
hope her whole fucking timeline gets flooded with screenshots of her going, I'm friends with Marty Skrull. Fuck that shit.
I'm telling you, the only thing more better would be Santino joining WWE as commissioner.
Fuck that motherfucker. He took fucking selfies with that fucking pedo too.
But back to the match in hand. Like I said, Baron Corbin winning, it's something new. People are gonna bitch that it's not Carmelo Hayes.
Trick
Who
was
the
running
fuck
stale,
cares?
though, dude. Trick was running stale. Carmelo Hayes versus Trick. It's not time for that yet. It will be once Carmelo can learn how to get over. But I don't know what they're doing with Carmelo, so it's just not that time yet. I think it was a good move. Trick has to drop Lil Yachty. He's not doing anything for him. Trick is good enough to go out on his own. He's a good talker, so I don't know why they got this dude with him. But anyways, it's just not as his title run ran its course, and I'm saying that as a fan of him as a champion.
If you're planning on keeping Yachty around, honestly, I'd consider putting him with Mello.
Yeah, I think Mello can use Yachty a lot more than Trick can. That's for sure.
What happened?
WWE has a heel problem. They have no heels for a lot of their champions. They, outside of Gunther, none of them get pushed to win feuds. So this is going to hurt Trick. It's going to hurt even Chad Gable. Like, they had to start doing something. It's either, all right, we start really pushing guys like Ethan Page, maybe Tama Tonga.
Yeah.
Do something with
The mid card has. I'm not worried about mid card heels. They have plenty of those. It's the main event.
even the mid card, but like you say, you have plenty of heels. Who? Like, who is
Raw's fine. Raw's fine when it comes to mid card heels. They do not have an issue right now.
who's coming off
They
the
got
win?
Bruce.
The problem is Triple H doesn't know how to book heels. Like who said it? Like it was a
Doesn't
while
know
ago, maybe a
fucking
year
book.
ago. Yeah, he doesn't know how to book, period. But I think somebody said it like a year ago. They said that it's career suicide to become a heel under Triple H or something to that effect.
Unless you're Gunther. Like
Even
Gunther, they know how to
Gunther's-
book, but everybody else, nobody wins if you're a heel.
So-
You're,
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with the Gunther thing, but I do think like for Triple H, he books his heels to lose.
yeah.
And you know, heels need to be booked to win. They need to be the guys that irritate the crap out of you. You know, like he doesn't book heels to win. And so heels under Triple H, yeah, I get why nobody wants to, you know, as if it were even up to them, but I get why nobody wants to be a heel, or I get why they don't have a lot of heels. It's literal career suicide under Triple H.
And it's so strange because he was a heel for most of his top run. So you would
Yeah.
think that he would lean more towards, helping the heels out and getting them over more, because
But that was
He would-
he was essentially Vince's creation, and if Vince did one thing well, it was create heels.
I'm just saying, I think the
Yeah.
being a heel,
dynamic where everybody sells merch. Everybody has to be t-shirt. Everybody has to, promote video games, promote this ad, promote this. You can't be mean, no body shaming, no slut shaming, no making fun of anything, personal with somebody, so you're just limited. I mean, again, I don't know how you fix it because it's bigger than just Triple H. It's across the industry. It's across pro wrestling. There needs to be like, all right, this is a movie. Movies, people make insults to people. Movies, you say horrible things. It's not personal. It's part of a script. But until that happens, I mean, again, unless you're Gunther and you're pushed like a monster, nobody really is getting heat.
Yeah, I
Because they're
honestly
trying to-
can't think of one good, successful heel turn run that they've posted for. Becky might be the closest, but like I don't give them credit for that.
it goes back to what we said earlier. They're scared to, let people push and be those bad guys. And, we get things like Unreal that want to humanize everyone. So, even if you freaking do start to get some sort of heat, then they put you on freaking Unreal and they show you fishing and playing with animals and having a farm. And, all of a sudden you're humanized and, you don't get that hate anymore because, they're just like us.
Any
Sure,
other
go on.
thoughts on this bullshit match since we're just segueing off of it because it wasn't, anyone's favorite cup of tea? Like I said, I gave it a 3-star match. It wasn't a bad match.
Give it 2.
I give it 3. I mean, look, I like Baron Corbin winning because, again, you can maybe try to freshen up Trick Williams. You can get other people involved. Maybe Baron can help grow Trick. Because, again, something needs to be done. So this is sort of, all right, this isn't working. Let's pivot and let's try something different. So now let's
What
go
about-
follow through.
Well, JJ, Baron Corbin's a solid hand.
Damn right.
He is.
Would have been 4.5 stars if it was in the Tokyo Dome. 7 if it had Will Ospreay.
All right, let's get to the next match.
And we had the 5-way ladder match for the women's championship. Chelsea won over Charlotte, Jade Cargill, Lash Legend, Tiffany Stratton. This wasn't as offensive as the 6-woman tag last night, but it was not good as either.
I disagree. I thought this was the best women's ladder match they've had in WWE since they started doing women's ladder matches.
No.
Like, all the girls got their shit in. There were a couple botches. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't perfect, but again, that comes with women's matches. But I thought it was pretty solid. All the women were pretty entertaining. We had the right result. And other than Lash Legend being Lash Legend, everyone else was pretty phenomenal to me.
Best part of this match was my new entrance video for Lash Legend.
Now, the best part was Chelsea Green winning and basically JJ going apple.
Yeah, that too. JJ lost his fucking mind. Both me and JJ lost our minds for different reasons.
JJ, I told you that she was going to win. Once they did the thing where they announced how like her family's in the crowd and they're here from British Columbia and all that, so I'm like, oh yeah, she's winning. Because they did the same shit with freaking
There's gonna be a backlash.
No, they already did backlash this year.
No, he means there's going to be a fallout.
I know what he means.
No, Hub was just doing a very punny thing. But yeah, like I think Chelsea, in terms of the right winner, Chelsea was the right winner. She's the ultimate employee to them. She does everything. She does the meet and greet. She does all the publicity stuff.
She hangs out with pedophiles.
She's on Twitter a lot.
She's exactly what she said she wanted to. She's exactly what she said she wanted to be, a female Miz.
Yeah,
Rain doesn't count as of right now.
I read that it does. So
when do interim reigns count?
I don't
when
care.
Was the last time they did
the fact that she's out there with a belt around her, that image is just not good PR.
Because when they did the Cena Punk thing a few years back, a decade ago or some shit, Cena's reign when he won that title did not count.
That wasn't an interim champion though, because technically he won the title and then
that
Punk
was
returned
that
with
was
the
an
title.
interim. That was
technically an interim. He became an interim title.
When he won it, it was this is the new champion because because in kayfabe the actual champ was gone, but then the actual champ walks out and go, oh well, now we have an issue. It's just like the whole thing. What do you call it? It
was like Shawn Michaels and Razor.
No, I was gonna say that, but the whole thing was Shawn was stripped of the title and just didn't give it back, and that's why he had it. So Razor was never the interim champion. Razor was recognized as the champion. Shawn was just holding on to an old belt.
I mean, in AEW, when Moxley was interim champion, right?
It didn't count until the unified title match where Mox won. So then Mox reign did count after that.
I don't care. I just don't care. I just did this bitch with a belt is a bad fucking look.
They went for the moment. I give them that. I was telling Heel a few days ago, they're either going to go with the match they really want, which was Charlotte and Rhea, or they're going to go for the moment and give it to Chelsea. There was only 2 logical winners in this match. And then if she beats Rhea in the unification title match, I think it was the right move. If not, then it wasn't. Because
if
then
she
you
has
look
the
back
title
and it's
by
like,
the time Rhea gets back.
Yeah, that's another thing. But if you look back at it, then if she loses to Rhea in the unified title match, then now you look back and like, oh, you were never really a champion, were you?
we all agree that the interim part is stupid as fuck and shouldn't even exist, and Rhea should be stripped, right? There's no one.
Yeah.
Okay, we're all on the same. We're all on the same page with that. Just checking.
So, seeing how tonight went, was Lash, quote unquote, squishing Julia, which was what happened. Did Lash look good in your eyes tonight? Anyone?
Fuck no.
No, this is not her. This did not help her. No.
Bambi on ice, motherfucker.
Okay. Okay, right. She's gonna be in that Money in the Bank. Trickery does that.
Oh, now all of a sudden everyone agrees with me on that.
She has the look, and that seems like that's really it right now.
But on the
She's tall.
She has like the powerhouse look, which is what Triple H is very like horned up on. Everyone needs to look like China.
I think Lash has the look. Honestly, she does have the look.
If
She has like the Bianca Belair look.
If Lash let's call
I
it.
think she has a look, dude. I think she has a bougie thing going on.
No,
She has it.
Let's call a motherfucking spade a spade. If Lash Legend was not fucking Trick Williams, she would not have a job right now.
She was
I
up
don't
before
believe
Trick.
that. They fired people who were couples before.
Yeah, but the thing is, certain people, when they want to placate, they placate both parts of the couple. Why do you think Cora Jade fucked everyone in the PC? Because she knew that she would keep her job if she did.
But she didn't at the end of the day. So.
Because eventually they caught on and went, "You fucked everyone in the PC. We're done with you." But there is too much placating to couples in this company.
I mean, everyone's fucked in the PC.
We got to put the couples on the shows together. We got to fucking make sure that fucking they get to be on the same show and all this shit, and they get equal time with the. No, it's fucking bullshit. No, dude, you actually have to be a student there to actually get some pussy.
Let me ask you this:
you can't walk into the PC. It's not like a regular ass. It's not like a regular ass indie school where you can walk in with $3 to $5 grand and be like, "Train me." The PC ain't gonna let you in.
Yeah, you can't get in for that thing for nothing. I was down in Florida last year. I wanted to see it. I couldn't.
They don't take students off the street, motherfucker.
Let me.
I just want to say.
Let me ask this question.
You don't have the look.
Let me ask this.
Let me just quick finish and I'll jump in. I endorse the plan just for simply we can end the Nia Jax DJ feud. He can have his date.
You know you want to get all up in her lane, Bryant's. Nia Jax versus Bayley NXT TakeOver
already.
I don't know. Her versus Rhea at Elimination Chamber in Australia was all right.
No one's. None of these are favorite moments, DJ. You just don't like to hear that you're wrong about something. But
she was Queen of the Ring.
The Lash Legend thing. If Julia would have won, would that have gotten Julia any more over being in that ladder match tonight?
I think she would have better.
I think she would have thrived in there.
She would have done a better job.
Yeah.
Because the whole point of Lash Legend being in that match is to try and make Lash Legend look good. And we're all pretty much in the agreement she did not look good tonight. I think Julia would have easily looked good in that role. Oh, it's been the goal since they fired her more talented tag partner, which heel hates.
I don't hate. I just don't think she's this great Stone Cold.
Yeah, no, she
No,
wasn't anything
RJ that you
special.
think she is.
But
She wasn't
she's
anything
solid.
special.
And you're over there acting like a sicko, be like, yo, name her top 5 matches.
That's not a sicko.
What's her
She
cage
wasn't
match
anything
rating?
special.
What's her cage match rating?
Oh God!
What that, JJ?
I said she wasn't anything special, so I agree with you, Brandon.
Thank you.
No one's saying she's like Rhea Ripley, but like she solid. She's good depth piece. That's what she is.
She's better than B.
She's improved since leaving WWE.
Chris, you're better than B-Fab.
I won't go that far.
But, let's move on to the stinker of the night, Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio. Thankfully, this thing didn't go past 7 minutes.
I played New Jack
Obviously,
promos
Danhausen
instead.
won. At least they had the talented midget out there this time.
Yep.
Yep. The worst thing that ever happened was the Knicks winning the NBA titles. That made Danhausen an ATM for WWE to print money. So look, until it falls flat, we're going to get more of this. It's horrible. I'm sorry. It's just he's going to get a tag team title run. We have to now start accepting that. Like he will get that with Joe Hendry, just so they can put him on TV more.
They don't need the tag titles.
I don't like Danhausen personally. I think he's done some good work on WWE, and I'm willing to admit to that. But man, the guy is. I mean, they are overly saturating every show with this guy to the point where, this is, look. They should have had. I'm sorry, maybe this is an unpopular opinion, but they should have had Braun Breaker on SummerSlam, whether in a singles or tag team or whatever. He should have been part of SummerSlam. It's my firm belief. And I'm not even that big of a Braun Breaker fan, but Danhausen is occupying a lot of. So, give the guy a 3-minute segment on SummerSlam. That's sufficient. But to take up a match. And then Dom on top of that, Dom has just been dog shit lately. Honestly, I used to sing his praises and stuff, but the guy just hasn't done anything. He's just stagnant. They're just pushing Danhausen too far down our throats at this point. It's just way too much of him.
It's funny that Chris said that they're printing money with Danhausen. They're literally printing Danhausen money now. So
Human monies.
I found that.
Yeah, and I get it. Like a lot of the stuff he does and says is entertaining. It is. But again, I think there are better ways to go about doing it than to focus on Danhausen so much that you sacrifice building up real stories on the show. Like if you're giving this guy, 10, 15 minutes worth of backstage segments and stuff like that per show, it's like, dude, like you guys can't even properly build a story right now around any of your talent. But this is what you're going to focus on because it makes money now. Yeah, I guess, but like they're not looking at the long term. WWE is not looking at the long term, and long term comes via good storytelling.
Well, I don't think anyone got any more ideas. I don't think we need to spend any more time on Danhausen that we've already given.
Nope.
What soul? Remember, they're soulless.
Welcome to being a
then we-
multimedia conglomerate.
Yeah.
Everyone
And we
focuses
got the
on the balance sheet for that quarter and nothing past it.
Yep. Then we got the Intercontinental title match with Chad Gable beating Penta by submission. This went 11 minutes and 10 seconds.
Yep.
Yep.
Same as Gunther and Aldis. They only went 11. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is Gable going to have his family out there every time he accomplishes something? No, he had his family.
Yeah, but he lost. He didn't really accomplish
Yeah, he had his
anything.
family, and that's why this was a playoff. When he lost the mask, his family was there, and this was his family there to see him triumph. And by having them there in the ring for the celebration, not only does it give that human aspect to the main audience who may not have watched AAA and as much as they push that, but it also elevates that title to make it more than it is. Not saying that Penta didn't do well with the belt, but it makes the Intercontinental title look important.
Yeah, I am glad they gave him the IC and not the US. Even though the US fits him like a nice prop with his gimmick and everything, the IC is more prestigious.
And it was. And
Yeah,
it
no,
completed
I'm
the
excited that we're gonna have a guy that's able to tell a story though with Gable.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves it, long overdue. But like Penta's great in the ring, he just obviously can't tell a story.
But this also completed.
They haven't.
This also completed the story. It also completed the story they started with Gable a year and a half ago.
Right.
Through the injury
Yes,
and
right,
everything.
right.
So
Exactly.
it closed up that circle of learning beating the luchador. He finally beat a luchador.
Right.
So
I had fun being in Gimmick again.
Yeah, it was a good match. I think everyone kind of expected the outcome. It's just been long overdue, and Penta's had a long reign anyways. But yeah, it was a great match.
Hub, any thoughts on this?
This was the match of the weekend for me right now. I'm happy Gable got his moment, but hopefully they do something with Gable with the IC Championship, make it pretty much a TV title, have him defend maybe weekly he can put on the matches. It gives you good matches every week. Gable's not going to disappoint. But my fear is that they're probably going to maybe shove Gable into this Vision Alpha America bullshit feud.
No,
So
they basically wrote Otis off. They wrote Otis off.
For now.
Tozawa's still chilling.
Yeah, he'll be chilling and catering.
Nah, he'll be working main event still because they always have him do that, and he pops the crowd.
Also, speaking of that, where are the Creeds?
Who cares?
You need tag teams.
Yeah, but not Pasty Creed and Chubby Creed. They're fucking awful.
He was just on. He was on a video on NXT last week, helping train.
Weren't they just on AAA recently?
Yeah, the Mask versus Mask match like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that was the last time they were there.
Right.
I think they worked the main event a couple of weeks ago.
Like main event?
As in
they
dark
weren't
match
in a
main
main
event show.
They worked the show main event.
As in the YouTube show.
They worked the. Yes, they weren't in a main event, but
they never will be.
Brutus, not Brutus, the other one, Julius
was the talented one.
Was helping train Kendall Gray on NXT last week.
Oh God! Please don't strap them to Kendall Gray. She will sink like a fucking Titanic if she's attached to those fucking kids.
Wait. Do you hate Kendall Gray too?
No, I like Kendall Gray. That's why I'm saying keep her away from those fucking idiots.
Actually, I think it's easy to figure out who you like.
Julius has a history with her. Like I think he helped bring her into WWE, so that's why she was in the video. But they're not like getting into a thing. She's still with Ren Sinclair.
Good.
Ren QQC.
Yeah. So, any other thoughts on the Intercontinental title match?
No
notes.
Then we got, right before we get to the main event, I do want to bring up something interesting. They never announced a attendance this weekend.
Yeah.
Which, what is that, the first time ever that they've never announced an attendance for?
There was years they never announced the attendance for shit.
Because it was not in a TKO. You want to why? Because it wasn't good. And they know once they put a number out there, certain show that's happening in about 3 weeks is going to beat it.
No, it's not.
It already is.
What show?
All In.
It already has, JJ. You could laugh, but they've already sold more tickets than at either night of SummerSlam.
Boy, are we still
I'm happy they're not announcing it.
Okay,
it was such a waste of time.
You want to talk about an apples and oranges comparison? You're comparing a show that was 2 nights where the city and state paid them to be there. So they were getting versus.
I'm not talking about money. I'm just talking strict ticket sales.
If you want to talk about ticket sales, then you have to talk about money. And in which case, Tony fucking Nepo Khan has to pay to rent Wembley. And he is going to lose his ass on this fucking show.
Yeah.
And you know who cares about All In outselling SummerSlam? Basement goblins. That's it. Twitter trolls.
They care. That's why they didn't announce the attendance.
How are you saying they're not the biggest show of the summer when the combined 2 nights sold fucking 80,000 tickets? So what's going to be the argument when going forward you find out that they're just not announcing attendance numbers anymore?
They'll announce it.
I think if they
originally
sold
they only did
seats,
it for fucking Mania. Like it's not.
They did
it's
it for
not
even
out of
when
the
Vince was
ordinary.
around. They did it for SummerSlam. They did it for. They do it for all these like stadium shows. They do. They've always announced the attendance.
I guarantee you, if they had reached 50,000 tickets or more, they would have announced it.
They weren't even set up for 50,000.
If they had enough that they knew they can comfortably trot out there and be like, "We did this."
They had a specific setup, and it was nowhere near that because they used half the stadium, and that's the way every SummerSlam has been.
They sold over 50,000 for each night last year.
And isn't MetLife a bigger arena than Minnesota?
No, I don't think so. I'm just gonna check just for shits and giggles.
What was the setup? Look at WrestleTix and see how many seats were set up for this each night, because I'm pretty sure it wasn't 50,000.
Right, but once they hit that certain mark, then they open up more.
But
they still have 70,000
how large the stage was? Did you notice the stage was much larger than it usually is? And the fact that the hard cam side is where they keep all of the fucking production trucks and all that shit when they're doing a stadium show.
So MetLife is bigger by 9,000.
Still?
I'm looking on WrestleTix now. Hold on one second.
Right. So they weren't set up for 50K. So why would they
tonight they were set up tonight for 34,080. They, as of 5 hours ago, they got 33,086 with a total number of seats of 72,287.
So they
had 50, and last year they had 58,186 for night 2.
They're not going to get – y'all think they're going to get embarrassed. You go and look at the balance sheet afterwards of who made money and who didn't. That's what this is. This is the business. It's about making fucking money. Hey, fuck, dude, if you seriously think WWE is worried about AEW, I have beachfront property on the fucking moon to sell you.
Hold on. They have shown they are worried. They have some concern with AEW.
Okay, sure. Go ahead and believe that. Gross.
So it's a smart business move to put NXT head to head with All In.
If they were worried, they would put a full-on PLE, not their developmental brand.
They've done it before. They put Goldberg's final match. They did Goldberg's final match the day of All In last year.
That was Saturday night's main event. That's not a PLE. And that was already planned.
It doesn't matter.
It was a Saturday night's main event that was planned by the fucking network, not by TKO. They gave that date. NBC Universal gave that date because they have the rights to Saturday night's main event and when it fucking airs.
So it's all a coincidence that they magically booking and double-ending booking days that AEW are running pay-per-views?
Saturday night's main event.
No offense, I don't think NBC. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think NBC knows what the fuck AEW is.
Yeah, NBC planned those dates out a year in advance.
These
Khan
are not
was the one
planned
that
out a year in
decided to
advance.
fucking. Yeah, sure, okay. Yeah, sure. Whatever.
I know straight up. Cena's final match was not finalized until like 2 months before. Because they're in negotiations with these cities, for these events. None of this is a year in advance stuff. At most
Wasn't
6 months.
Wasn't Cena's originally supposed to be in Boston and then it got moved to DC?
Because
Yeah,
DC
the
paid more for it.
negotiations. Yeah. In the final few months. The negotiations for Cena's final match went until October, September. It wasn't announced until October, 2 months out. That's not 1 year ahead. NBC did not say, hey, you're having it here. They don't do this 1 year in advance stuff.
NBC doesn't decide on their location, they decide on the date.
No, because it matters, because the Boston date was not going to be available to them that night.
Whatever.
But JJ, even if
we can say whatever, but you know you're wrong.
You could say you said you're deciding on the date, but that means they're deciding on the date on the same day that there's an AEW pay-per-view. We saw it, through the summer last year. It stopped, and now we're seeing it through the summer again. Whether it's NXT, AAA, whatever it is, they're still putting shows up purposely against AEW.
And they're starting to put other shows and watch parties around the U.S. country now to try and get the big markets away from potentially an AEW show being the WrestleMania
that because
weekend.
They know the people stateside aren't going to travel to the Middle East.
Really? Because when they did the press conference announcing it, they were all touting up, hey, you travel to Saudi Arabia. Come to Saudi Arabia and see WrestleMania.
Yeah, they can say that, but they know that people aren't going to. Especially with, I don't know, people getting fucking blown up over there every fucking week right now.
And they're still going.
No, they don't. They already proved that. They already started proving to guys, you want to fucking go? Go. They were never going to jump. No, they wouldn't. You need to realize that just because the person goes over there, they're going to a place that doesn't know how to advertise jack dick. So it doesn't matter if they're over there, it's the tree falling in the woods and no one around to hear it. Barely.
Punk had him doing actual arena shows.
they were doing arenas that were half fucking full. You know how I know? Because petty ass Punk, when he came back to WWE, was pointing over to the other side and going, "There's people on this side." They were filling the J hook. That was it. They weren't filling the upper deck. I took a tally of every fucking attendance for 8 fucking months and I had a spreadsheet. He made no significant difference.
JJ, let me ask you this question. From a business standpoint, would just when you have a competitor that's up and coming, just based on that alone, you still have to pay attention to that, and you can't just dismiss them. Correct?
At first, but we're 7 years in.
Yeah, but you can't. They're not. You have to admit they're not in the same place as they were in 2019.
Yeah, they're far fucking worse. They're running in a fucking Mason's temple, for fuck's sake. Yeah, throw money into a fucking furnace. Keep throwing money into a fucking furnace. Eventually, that furnace is going to shut off. And in the meantime, he's just in the fucking red and in the fucking red and in the fucking red. AEW has never been in the black for a single fucking quarter since they fucking started. I don't care how much money he fucking throws in when there is no return on investment. If you're continuously in the fucking red, it doesn't matter. You're a failure as a businessman. Just because daddy keeps giving you fucking money doesn't mean shit. There's zero return, dude. They've been in the red every fucking year. Bro, that's like if you gave me $100 and I gave you back $1. You're getting something back. You lost 99 fucking dollars. Oh, so 10% return. Dude, are you fucking hearing yourself right now? Oh my God. Sorry, I'm pulling my business fucking degree into this. Because daddy's handing him money. That's not fucking. Oh my God, I can't. I fucking can't. That's not. Oh my God, that's not a profitable fucking business. That's daddy handing you fucking money. Whereas across the street, they have sponsors. They have cities fucking paying them to be there.
Well, I have a question. I have a question for JJ because it sounds like he's been in the wrestling space for some time.
22 years almost.
So I saw on one of the WCW documentaries a number of years ago that one of the, I forget who it was, but on one of the documentaries that they have on YouTube, they stated that most wrestling promotions are not profitable for an X amount of years. Do you think that's going to be the case with AEW if they keep it up? Do you think they'll ever become profitable?
No. They will never be profitable. And the fact that he doesn't know how to fucking book, he doesn't listen to anyone, everything has to be his way. There's a dwindling fucking return on fucking attendance. Fucking their merch is fucking god awful and doesn't fucking sell. Like they are never going to turn a profit.
All right.
You guys think I'm not a fan of theirs, but do you guys think New Day will move the needle when they inevitably show up in the next few weeks?
No, because it's a tree falling in the woods.
It'll pop a rating. It'll pop. I was gonna say that I think New Day will pop a rating for a week, but they're not gonna make any type of permanent movement for AEW. So, but let's move.
What about Bailey?
Bailey's
If
not.
she ends up popping over,
same thing. It's not. It'll pop a rating when she debuts, but it's not gonna move anything. Well, she's there till at least she's there till the end of the year, so we'll see.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you,
Bailey doesn't want
Natty's not, and I guarantee you, Natty's not making the same amount of money Bailey is.
Hell, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if not Natalia was one of the people that took the pay cut.
But I was gonna say I almost regret mentioning the tickets, but I want to let's get to the main event, Roman and Seth. Obviously Roman won. Hopefully we finally put to bed the Shield lore permanently.
I think this has to be a
thoughts on the match, the results, where we go from here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Kefis, what did you think of the main event?
it was good. It was a good match, a little overbooked, but it's become typical of Roman Reigns matches. It was pretty good.
JJ?
I thought it told a great story. I thought it solidified Roman not needing to do things dirty. And he finally vanquishes his nemesis, and he does it the right way. And then the spot afterwards where they just sat across from each other like two old war horses staring at each other, I thought it was a great story. And I actually didn't mind the whole, the two fists with the mask in between, for the one that wasn't there. I thought it was a nice sentimental spot. I think it closes this chapter until one possible day, years from now, who knows? But yeah, solid match, great main event, better than last night's main event. And I'm happy to see what comes next.
And main event hub.
Good match that kind of dragged on a bit, and like I said again, it's kind of hard to tell the Shield story and do all the Shield stuff when you're missing a member. Hopefully, this is it between the two for hopefully ever till they go in the Hall of Fame as the Shield. I doubt it, but for Roman, it feels like it's pretty clear that it's going to be either Solo, LA, or Keys next, probably Solo. And then for Rollins, I don't know where you go with him. I don't think a brand switch is going to do anything. And then, unless you, I don't know what you really do with Rollins next. He's just kind of there now. But right winner, solid match, went on a bit long, but not going to complain compared to the shit we got last night. Cody and Punk by a mile. Dude, that shit dragged on so long.
Cody
Punk
and
shit himself.
Cody and Punk was extremely overrated. And I say that as somebody who's seeing 6 and 7 scores for it. Extremely overrated. I don't know what people are seeing in it. Whatever people are seeing in it, I would love for someone to explain to me what you're seeing in it. I don't like Cody. I don't like Punk, but I'm trying to be neutral, just like I was with Chelsea Green, who I don't like as well. And I gave her props, her flowers. But I'm trying to figure out what it was about that match that was redeeming. Was it the dude? I'm all for like a old fashioned, slow paced wrestling match. I think that's what wrestling should be today.
Mm-hmm.
But that match was moving at snail's pace. I mean, everything that dude, Cody looked like he was wobbling around the ring.
Mm-hmm.
He looked incredibly gumpy. CM Punk was the guy just looked like a sloth out there, and he's gained so much muscle. It's like I don't know. The match did literally. I thought it was one of the worst matches I've seen in a long time. And dare I say, Cena versus Cody at WrestleMania was a better match than this. And that was one of the shittiest matches I've ever seen in my life.
I think it was by far Punk's worst match since his return, going back to even when he debuted in AEW. It was not a good match. The match between those two should have been better than what it was. I have no interest in now them potentially running it back next year for Mania, if that's the plan. It should have been better. I kind of pointed towards Cody because I've seen Punk, even recently, with the new muscle and stuff, put on good matches. Put on a good match against Sami Zayn. He had a great match against Roman Reigns. Punk can still go. When's the last time, aside from Cena, when was the last time we sat back and, that was a really great Cody Rhodes match?
No, you're right about it. You're right about that. And as somebody, again, who's not a fan of either person, I think Punk has had pretty good matches on his match card in WWE in his time in this most recent run. He's had his feud with Drew McIntyre was phenomenal. I mean, his feud with Roman was great. He's had a lot of solid matchups, but Cody Rhodes, he's a glorified mid-carder.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually not even as interesting as the mid-carders on the SummerSlam card.
Yep.
He is not a good wrestler. He is gumpy. And people could say, hey, Cena's not a good wrestler or Roman's not a good wrestler or whatever, but they still look more natural wrestling than he does. He does not look natural. He is bad. Yeah, but who's laughing at who though? Like, I would argue with you that Cody is not the only one to blame, obviously, for WWE just being dog shit lately, but he is a big reason for it.
Mm-hmm.
I think if Roman had dropped his title to anybody else, we'd be looking at a completely different company today. But yeah, I'm talking since that time. Yeah, since that time, Cody's been dog shit ever since he finished his story.
Yep.
This sucked ass, but it was better than this.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well,
He can't. Look,
I'll give
you
him.
guys can go through my timeline and see this point that I made years ago. Cody Rhodes is incapable of carrying a feud. It's always his opponent that carries his feuds. You look at KO, he carried the Cody feud. You look at Drew, he carried the Cody feud. Sammy carried the Cody feud. Every single person he's ever feuded with has carried him.
So
Whose feud? Which one? Oh, with Seth?
so to,
He's just a vanilla. He's as vanilla as like, dude. I will never
Yep.
forget on Friday. If you guys go back and listen to his promo on Friday, dude is in a heated promo with Punk, and then he stops for a second. He's like, "Hold on, I gotta get this off my chest," or whatever the hell he said. And then he
Mm-hmm.
did his whole, "What do you want to talk about, dude? How the fuck did that have any place in that promo?" I
Dude, so is everyone else's promos in that company.
But this is what I'm saying, DJ. Who actually got the short end of the stick? Was it WWE or was it AEW? I think, and then he left and he tanked WWE. So I mean, I don't know. Is this might be a win? Well, he did though. Like, WWE has not been as hot as it was
Yeah.
since Roman's last run ended.
Yeah.
It hasn't.
Right.
Okay, but are we going to
So
put
who
that
won?
totally on Cody though?
I'm not going to put it totally on Cody, but the
he
main
was the new
title
golden
picture
boy.
is Brandon. They gave him a coronation. Remember?
Right.
They literally gave him a coronation when he won. They
Yep.
had everybody in the ring for him.
Yep.
remember, at one point we had the Cody countdown. That's how over Cody was.
he belongs.
A background tag team guy, not even the main tag team guy. He's the background guy now.
Not me.
You got you they screwed Randy. I mean, look, yeah, Randy's older now, whatever. He's not that much older than everybody else on the roster, but
Right.
anyways, he's
But
older, whatever.
his body is broken down now.
But you know what though? If Liv Morgan can go 100 days just showing off her title, then Randy Orton could have done that too. They should have given him the title at WrestleMania.
I don't think Randy could have gotten out of bed or moved around. That was the problem.
You believe in that?
He was overexposed, just like Danhausen.
And he had heat by association.
Yeah.
It was either who he was across from, or it was who he was next to, and that's where the heat was generating from. And the proof in the pudding of that was the fact that they had to keep going back to the well between him and Ray, because they knew Ray would always get cheered.
That's exactly it. Nobody's gonna cheer against Ray. That's exactly it.
Dom's heat was manufactured from day one.
But yeah, no, you're DJ. You can keep naming names, dude, and I'm gonna agree with you. All these people are sidelined. They're benched. They don't have, like you guys all said earlier, no plans for Gunther. So all of these individual wrestlers, like these guys who would typically be in the main event picture, they're like, what do you do with Finn? What do you do with Sammy now? What do you do? Like Randy's about to start feuding with Cody for probably the next 3 months or something, 2 or 3 months. So that takes them both out of the main event, not the main event, but the main title picture. I mean, what do you do? You got Royce Keys, who's doing jack shit. LA Knight is basically a random tag team wrestler. They always put him in these random ass matches, it seems like. It's just you don't have anybody really. Like you have Roman. Jacob's not in that picture right now. Seth, who knows what plans are going to be for him. I don't think he's going to be in the main event picture anytime soon again. I don't know. I don't know what the hell they're doing. They're focusing so heavily on Cody, Punk, and Roman, and I'm a Roman fan, and I'll still say it. They're focusing so heavily on these three that they've essentially buried or burned everybody else on the roster at this point. Yeah.
Gimmick infringement.
I do think there is a silver lining in all of this, though. I think SmackDown is going to take the spot if these guys remain healthy. KO and Cody and Punk and Sammy and Orton, all these guys, SmackDown will take over the #1 spot. I think maybe not in viewership, just because it's not Netflix global, but it will be the better show.
Hopefully.
That's saying a lot with how bad that show's been the last year.
Yeah, but I mean, once Drew comes back as well, I mean, you have I mean, you have a 180 on that show, essentially. You have all of your top guys there for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, but it won't matter if they're not booked properly.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Yes, just because they're there doesn't mean, they're going to put them in good stories.
No, chances are higher, though, right,
you.
than them not being there.
Yeah. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if Drew got moved over to Raw when he came back anyway.
I'd be fine with that.
We never did find out who knocked out Jacob's teeth, did we?
Nope.
No.
I think they alluded that it was true.
I saw somebody on X say that they think, I don't think this is going to happen for what it's worth, but they thought that the Bloodline were going to turn on Roman tomorrow night because of his whole, fist bump thing with the Shield reunion with Seth.
I don't see that whatsoever happening.
I don't see it either. There's been no hint towards that whatsoever.
Yeah.
I think
But I don't even know where they go with Roman at this point. If Oba's going to feud with Bronson Reed, then they're not going to put. I don't think they'll put Solo against Roman again. I think it's too soon.
Yeah.
So far it's family, friend, going back to family. I don't think they're doing LA Knight Roman, and I don't think they're doing Royce Keys Roman, because it's going to be one of the three people that were in that 6-man tag. That won.
If we're going by, I know LOL brand split, but if we are going by the brand split, Solo and Royce are SmackDown.
Right.
So the only guy who is on Raw is LA Knight.
I mean, Jacob was originally on SmackDown too, and they just randomly plopped his ass over to Raw. They can do the same thing.
I know, that's why I'm saying LOL brand split, but I'm just going, if we are going by what they're officially considered, LA Knight is the only one who is on the Raw show. That's all I'm saying.
Because technically it should be Oba next, but they're not going to blow their load for Oba, Roman, winning the bank in New Orleans.
Oba's going to win the Rumble.
He's going to win a Money in the Bank at this point, and then give it up.
Nah, it's a heel thing.
Winning, I have no clue. I can just tell you who's going to be in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say because God knows who they're going to throw. Okay, I'll do a wild guess. I think they might put the Money in the Bank on Trick for the men. For the women, Jesus, I have no idea who they would.
I think Braun Breaker for the men.
Maybe they give it to Roxy, and then that's where you can kind of build, the breakup of Roxy and Liv.
That's a good prediction.
He's
really?
No.
He'll be lucky if he even makes the pay-per-view.
I'm pretty sure Ricky's going to win the U.S. title in New Orleans.
It's what we do.
No, that's not long-term story. That's one book in one city and another book in a library in another city.
So, Hub, what do you predict for Money in the Bank?
For men's, I think it's going to be Breaker because they're going to be they know they got to do something to get people to believe in him again, and I feel like they're going to use the Money in the Bank. That's that. I have Breaker for Money in the Bank, and then women's. Oof. That one's a hard one because up till tonight I would have guessed probably Chelsea, but I mean maybe Roxanne, but like I still feel like I feel like Rumble, winning the Rumble and then choosing would kind of be the role rather than doing the Tiffany Stratton Nia Jax shit where she cashes in on Liv. Women's hard because there's really no one that sticks out right now.
But if you put it on Breaker, who does he cash in on? Roman or Punk? I mean,
maybe Punk for. They're gonna do. Honestly, I think they're gonna use the Money in the Bank more as like a prop than a like you're the next world champion kind of thing. Triple H hates the fucking Money in the Bank.
They need to have the next men's Money in the Bank winner actually cash in successfully because there's been too many foul ups in the past few years and it's brought down the percentage. And if the percentage comes down, they can't very well. It was a lot easier to say the winner has an 85% chance of winning than to saying the winner has a 65% chance of winning.
Well, it was done right. Seth cashed in last year.
Yeah. But before that, we had a bunch of wonders.
Who was before that? I don't even remember. I got to look it up. I don't even remember.
Austin Theory cashing in for the U.S. fucking title and losing.
That was like 5 years ago, though.
That was one, but that was mainly because they didn't want anything to do with Fury. That was a Vince McMahon shit, and they just wanted to get that shit off him.
Wasn't that Vince?
There's been.
I'm trying to think.
I just know there's been a few men's Money in the Bank cash-ins where they didn't win it, whereas the women's I think is still at 100%. Yeah, Miz cashed in successfully and then dropped it to Bobby Lashley a week later. That was during COVID. And that was after Otis had actually won the Money in the Bank, but Miz got it off him. Right.
Oh yeah, Drew won, lost.
Yep.
A year before.
But Drew still won. He still successfully cashed it in.
No, he didn't.
No, he lost. Priest lost. Not Priest won. Drew lost.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Punk cost Drew.
Yeah.
Priest won.
Yep.
Theory lost. Big E won. Miz won. Brock won. Braun won. Corbin lost. Ambrose won. Sheamus won. Seth won. Randy won. There were a lot more wins than losses for the men's.
Bro, if Ricky Saints wins it, dude, the freaking show is going to tank to record low levels, dude. The guy sucks, though. No. I'm saying highlighting him. I'm saying even highlighting him more than they need to will tank the show. That guy is not. He's nothing special. Like Ricky Saints is a joke. He's a low card wrestler. There's no pull towards him whatsoever. He's there because of Cody and Punk, and that's it. Dude sucks.
I don't think he sucks. I like him, but he has a mid card ceiling.
JJ, there's actually only been 3 failed cash-ins.
Okay, that's still 3 failed cash-ins.
Yeah, so it's it's 86% success rate.
Right, and if it drops, and if another loss comes down, then it drops down, and they don't like that. I'm not giving an argument for or against it. I'm just saying when you have stupid R&D focus groups, people looking at that and they're like, oh no, we can't do that because that doesn't sound like a good number. Like we need to bump it back up so it's more than 90%.
And you are right. The women is 100%.
Right.
Another person that could probably use the Money in the Bank because they probably butchered him so far is Royce Keys.
No.
It's the Money in the Bank gonna be someone they want to save.
Yeah, he's just uninteresting to me, man.
Royce is a heater. Royce is Mr. Hughes.
What about
Moneybank's going to be used to save someone. That's what it's going to be used for this year.
What about Naomi returning to win the Money in the Bank again?
I don't know if she's going to come back.
On the table.
I like the idea, but I think Naomi wants to pop out another kid.
Actually, yeah, besides Big Cass, is there any predictions on anyone returning tomorrow? Any big moment?
I think Stephanie might return.
Yeah, probably back.
We'll call that a big moment.
You guys said a return or a big moment.
Yeah, you go right there.
I don't think Cass is a big moment.
I'm just hoping for a good show, man.
Enzo
These two shows leading up to SummerSlam were crap.
But if he brings Enzo, will Enzo be allowed to ride on the bus?
Yes.
Again?
Enzo's come leaps and bounds working indies the past few years. He's actually a really super nice guy now because he realized the error of his ways. He's actually one of those guys that goes out of his way for any indie promoter that brings him in to do good.
For as fucked up as it was, him being fired was probably the best thing for him. The way he was fired and why he was fired was fucked up.
Very.
But it was also the best thing for him at the same time, which is weird.
Well, tomorrow's show will define like the next 3 or 4 months because now these feuds have all wrapped up. So, I mean, I don't care about returns. I just want a good show, and I'm hoping we get one because these last 2 weeks leading up to SummerSlam were bad. We're really, really bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't want Danhausen in concert?
No.
I'm hoping that we get
Danhausen to get the fuck away from Joe Hendry right now.
I'm hoping we get some reset on storylines and we start coming up with some new shit now that we are, finished SummerSlam and we could, move forward and, maybe we have a little more time to build between events, seeing that as of right now, there is no PLE for September.
Yeah.
So,
The big
I think the only thing they have right now is just Sunday night's main event, huh? For September?
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they magically announce it, a September pay-per-view and WrestlePalooza again.
No. But yeah,
it's too close. They're not going to do it.
The big four are always reset points. Like they have the long-term stuff from Mania to Mania, but the big four are the spots where they can tweak something and take something out and put something else in. Those are their bullet points in between.
So I will say this, like I say every single year, I hope now that we've completed SummerSlam, they can start the build towards War Games to at least put some depth behind like that whole War Games storyline. I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll start the War Games, storyline like 2 to 3 weeks before the event, like they always do. But it would be nice for them to get an early start on it.
It's already in the process. At least for the men.
The
women's is going to be a thrown together clusterfuck. The women's will be a clusterfuck, but the men's is already in.
You think it's going to be Bloodline again this year?
Yes, it's going to be babyface Bloodline.
Already...
It's going to be heel Keys, heel Knight, heel Solo,
probably
heel.
As a fan of the Bloodline, I don't want to see the Bloodline in War Games this year, dude.
Heel Jesus. You're turning a lot of people heel here.
JJ, they're not turning LA Knight and Solo and Keys heel for a babyface Bloodline when we've already established the Bloodline is leaning more towards the heel.
You've established that.
The show has established that.
Okay, so 4 guys on the internet have established what this multi-billion-dollar company is going to do. Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, anyone else got any last thoughts?
Yeah, what was the attendance number?
Shut up.
He said it.
Well, I thank you, JJ. Thank you, Kefis. Thank you, Hub, for showing up for night 2 of DJ and the Heel live post SummerSlam. JJ, you want to plug?
Yeah, you can just find my channel. Find my channel at YouTube and on Odyssey. It's at Full Circle Radio. The Facebook page is Full Circle Reloaded. You can find me on Twitter, JJ_Alexander, and you can find the channel's X account, which is FCR_network. You guys joined me for 2 live streams this week, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do an episode of White Heat this week. I know I'm recording the next episode of Wildcard Cinema, and we're deciding on what we're going to do for the next episode of Cinematic Jackass. So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for everything that's happening over there.
Kefis, you got any plugs?
No plugs. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Kefis. Hub, you want to plug something before?
Yeah, just follow everything on the Main Event Hub. I'm currently shadow banned on Twitter for some reason. No idea how the hell that happened. But yeah, just everything under Main Event Hub, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, etc. All you shit besides MySpace and OnlyFans. Yeah, just follow Main Event Hub.
Thanks everyone for joining, and we'll see you next weekend.